Oh, hello, hello. So I'm playing the next a chapter on Waltz's route. Uh, a lot. She has a lot on her plate. As the queen and the term bearer. Oh my god, I wouldn't last if I were her. I would have said, you know what, M. You know what, M. You can be the queen. I be the tenor bearer. Uh, no thanks. Please save me from this hell. Something like that. I mean, I don't know for their world what the rules are, so I'm not sure if it's possible or not. Most possibly not, because if there is the best heir to the throne, you wouldn't want to have a second best. So whatever. I don't know much about queens and kings. I sound tired, but it's because I just woke up. Okay, please forgive me for waking up and just straight away doing this. I haven't even eaten breakfast. Anyway, let's start. No matter what you do, you'll never be good enough. Who's there? I call out, but there's only darkness around me. Your efforts will be for nothing. Witches and humans could never live in peace. The taunts and jeering grew louder, so loud I can hear them even when I press my hands to my ears. But I'm trying. There's laughter, cold and mocking. You are a failure as a queen. Please. You're too weak to be the tembrem bearer. Lucette? I'm sorry. Lucette! My vision is blurry with tears when I blink my eyes open. Eventually the smudge resolves into a familiar face. Waltz. He leans over me, eyebrows furrowed with worry. Are you okay? I rub my eyes with the back of my hand. It was a nightmare, and there were all these voices. They weren't real, Lucette. Waltz wraps an arm around me and pulls me closer to him. But what if they are? What if those voices are the negative thoughts in the Tenenbaum? Lucette, what if they're right, Waltz? A pitiful sob escapes my lips as I press my face into his chest. Waltz rubs soothing circles into my back. They're not. You know they're not. All you have to do is look at the smiling faces around town. But there is still so much strife and... Waltz kisses me softly on the head. You can't solve every problem, Lucette. Not immediately. No ruler is perfect. King Gennaro wasn't either. Father, he'd be proud of you. A calm silence follows. I breathe slowly in and out until I feel more relaxed. And the dream has begun to dissipate. That is what it is. A nightmare. A terrible nightmare, but a dream all the same. How about a trick, little star? A trick? Waltz pulls away from me, hand curled. Abra-cadabra! A lily sprouts to life between his fingers. The sight brings a smile to my face. You showed me this trick before, when I was a child. I poke him in the shoulder. You promised you'd show me how to do it on my 18th birthday, but you never did. It's not as if I can't still teach you, you know. Besides, I was teaching you more important things then. He taught me about shields every single day. Waltz laughs. And now you make the best shields, and you have impeccable control over your electricity. Except for those moments where you accidentally shock me. I rub my fingers together, waiting until it is sparked with electricity before I shock Waltz in the shoulder. He shrinks away with a laugh. You mean like that? Just like that. Anyway, he leans forward. You're gonna take it easy today, understood? I just took a day off last week. And now you can take another. You're forgetting you have advisors and counselors who can fill in for you. You should put them to work. Waltz. I won't take no for an answer. Do you have any plans for us? I have things I need to do, but I want you to take some time off today. That's not fair. It's more fair. It's more than fair. I'm just looking out for you. Oh, princess, you've done more work than you should. I think. I know a ruler's work it's never done. I've been a student leader before, and there's so much work to do. From planning, to executing, to post events, you have to do everything. And then you also have to advise your members. So there's a lot of things to do as a leader. So taking a break once in a while is good. I took a 30-day break once before as a leader. That those 30 days were not rest. I did work during those 30 days. So maybe I'm not the best example. But concede. I grumble beneath my breath. Fine. No doubt I'll be panicking all day about work I need to do tomorrow. Taking a break is gonna be more stressful than doing work. Not if you let yourself relax. Breaks aren't just nice, they're necessary. We do our best work when we're refreshed. Why is it that I must take a break when you won't? You're making this into a competition when it definitely is not supposed to be. He leans forward to kiss the tip of my nose. Do this for me, little star? He looks at me, eyes wide and pleading. The expression is so endearing, I can't help but laugh. I already said I would. Good. I think this will really help with the nightmares too. So? I think a bath might help you relax. You have some time before breakfast. Why are you looking at me like that? Have you already taken your bath? Walt's lips curve into a lopsided smile. I have, but I wouldn't mind jumping in again with you. My face is so warm it feels like it's on fire. I get the pillow off the bed and throw it at Waltz, who laughs when I abruptly rise. Are you still embarrassed about last time? He raises an eyebrow. I thought it was pretty fun. Stop talking. Was it the gossiping servants that made it strange? I still remember the looks we got last time coming from the bath chamber at the same time. We did not have the time to freshen up afterwards, so it was clear that we had both taken a bath. Together. No one said anything to me, of course, or acted like it was strange, but I cannot stop thinking about the way they looked at us, like they were trying not to smile. It was worth it, in my opinion. I slide out of bed and make my way towards the door. Waltz calls out to me. Lucette, would you like to visit the graves later? You can start by going to the royal catacombs and visiting your father. I pause. In all my busyness, I've missed visiting the catacombs and the graveyard. Missed visiting everyone. I would like that. Then I'll see you later. I nod. Yes, I shall see you later. Later during breakfast, Emily talks excitedly about her upcoming visit to Bergantia. It has been over a year since Bergantia and Annesley entered a full alliance. Claude and I were the representatives of our kingdoms. He was only suitable as Claude was the Bergantian heir. Ever since then, our families have become closer. Emmeline especially has become well acquainted with Claude's younger brother, Lance. She visits him in Bergantia every couple of months. Lance tells me he's already prepared a tour for all the kingdom's best restaurants. It's going to be wonderful. You think everything is wonderful, so long as you're with Lance. I hide my smile behind my hand when Emmeline blushes. It is clear Emmeline really enjoys Lance's company, so much that they exchange letters and visit each other often. It always makes me smile to see her besotted with someone. Of course I do. Lance is Lance. What in the world does that mean? You're blushing, dear. Mother, please. Ophelia chuckles. Sorry, you just become so animated when you speak about him. Rot nods. Even more than usual. Emmeline puts her face into her hands and mumbles something. I shake my head. I like Lance. Waltz laughs. He's very different from Claude, that's for sure. I resist the urge to roll my eyes. While Claude is flamboyant and overdramatic, Lance is subdued and humble. The two of them are like two very different sides of the same coin. You can have conversations with Prince Lance and that isn't entirely about him. If Claude were here, he'd clutch his chest and whisper, "You wound me." And we'd laugh. Not at him, but with him. I really miss everyone. At a tavern, I always took that time for granted, but now I rarely see everyone together. At least I have everyone here. I look up to see Ophelia, trying to mediate while Emmeline and Rod bicker. Before, these conversations would have annoyed me. Now I am part of them. It is nice to feel like I belong. My whole life, that's all I have ever wanted. To belong. The rest of our breakfast is pleasant, filled with animated chatter. When it is over, we all head our separate ways. I promised Waltz that I would take a break, so I do. I knew the moment I left the dining hall what I would do to relax. I smiled to myself as I plopped my needle through a fine piece of fabric again and again. I spent the morning sewing puppets. My hope is that Waltz will be able to use them for his shows and that maybe, when I am less busy, I will be able to join him. The thought of a joint puppet show lifts my heart. It has been a long time since I helped Waltz as his assistant. I hope that we can do something again soon. I glance up when the clock sounds. Right, I told Waltz I would meet him by the royal catacombs. I rise from my chair and begin to make my preparations to leave. I've just stepped into the corridor when I see a familiar face. Good afternoon, Your Majesty. Durin approaches and bows low before me. Good afternoon, Durin. Garland isn't with you? He's busy training the new recruits. Without you, the commander? Garland can handle himself just fine. Besides, the recruits are a lot less nervous when it's just him. Of that, I have no doubt. I hear that Durin is one who pushes them, and Garland is the one who forces them to take breaks. He and Duran balance each other out that way. After I was crowned the Queen of Ansley, I appointed Duran the new commander of the Order of Kildera. She immediately chose Garland as her second in command, which is not at all surprising. I was always able to tell the two of them were close. Now that I see that, now I see that even more. I cast a look over my shoulder before leaning forward and whispering, "So, has Garland proposed yet?" Duran stares at me horrified. "Wait, how do you know about..." She coughs. Your Majesty. Waltz told me. He said he and Garland were talking about one night in town. Duran sighs. Damn it, Lan. She raises an eyebrow. You're lucky he did propose, otherwise you have ruined the surprise. Well, Garland did bring up months ago, so... Wait. I blink at her. So, it's already happened and you said yes? Of course. Were you expecting me not to? Garland is my partner in everything. Her cheeks are flushed when he makes the proclamation, which makes it all the more endearing. Congratulations, Duran. I'm so happy for both of you. Thank you kindly, Your Majesty. She smiles. I fully expect your wedding to happen before ours. The question stumps me. I always forget about the indefinitely postponed marriage ceremony until someone brings it up. Duran shakes her head. I'm just teasing. There's never any rush for such things. I appreciate you saying that. I pause, thoughtful. Before you head out, I have a question for you about Fritz. If this is about his impending promotion, then yes, I think he's proven himself more than worthy. The words ease a weight I didn't know I was carrying on my shoulders. Fritz has been working so tirelessly to make amends for the mistakes he was forced to make in the past. I proposed a promotion to Duran months ago, when I saw all the hard work Fritz has no idea. We plan on surprising him with an announcement sometime in the near future. I am so glad to hear it. Thank you for your hard work, Duran. Of course, my queen. I must take my leave now. Waltz is waiting for me. I give him my greetings, Your Majesty. Duran bows and walks away. When I arrive at the royal catacombs, Waltz is waiting for me with a bouquet of lilies. Did work keep you longer? No, I ran into Duran. She said to offer you her greetings. I wish I'd caught her before I left today. I was talking with her and Garland. They're always so busy now. Aren't we all? Waltz shakes his head, a sad smile on his face. Standing here with him, I suddenly remember he once said to me, You told me once that as we grow older, we forget how to be happy. Do you still think that's the truth, Waltz? Ah, you remember that? I also said once that adults aren't children, that they worry too much and don't appreciate the small joys in life. I'll be honest, when I see you overworking yourself, I do think about that sometimes. Waltz, that's why you're the way you are, isn't it? You have a child's heart. You do find joy in the little things. Waltz's expression shuttles so fast it alarms me. I apologize, I didn't mean to compare you to a child. I know that comparison used to really bother him. Walt's shoulders sag. No, it isn't that, Lucette. It's more the innocent part. I'm not innocent at all, you know. The two of us could argue about this for days. Whether my mother made Waltz do in the past, it was not his fault. He was a child that had no real power then. I respectfully disagree. I grasp his free hand. I will never change my opinion of you, Waltz. Let's go visit father. As you wish. The catacombs are a short walk from where we're standing. Father's body is interred there, in an elaborate coffin that sits beneath a statue. Waltz gives me some space to speak to him alone. Hello, father. It's been a while. I set a couple of lilies down on his coffin. I still hear your voice. It encourages me even after all these years. I confess, I feel small sometimes. I feel ill-prepared to carry on your legacy, but I am trying my best. I will always try my best. I set a hand down on the coffin. A bitter, jarring cold sinks into my fingers. I miss you so much, Father. I hope wherever you are, that you are watching over me. I smile at the coffin one last time before returning to Waltz. Yes, still some flowers, offerings we mean to set our mother and Parfait's gravestones in the forest. Shall we? I settle my hand on the crook of Waltz's arm. We shall. We make our way to the forest. I smell the flowers permeate the air as we draw closer to the small gravesite. It is not long before I see the field of flowers that marks the site. It is a serene place, filled with a plethora of vibrant flowers and littered with rays of sunlight. It is the perfect resting place. We make our way to the two gravestones erected in the center of the field. The previous Lucis and Tenebrem bearers, resting side by side. Walt sets a lily down on the first grave. For Lady Parfait, I set the other lily down on the second gravestone, and one for Mother. They were enemies in the end, but I really hope the two of them are at peace wherever they are now. Walt sets a hand on my shoulder. If Lady Parfait were here, she would no doubt say she was proud of you. Parfait was always kinder to me than I deserved. That is not true, Lucette. You deserved all that kindness and more. Really? Wait, let me turn this back. You deserve all that kindness and more. Are you sure? I mean, sure that she had to learn what it meant to be kind to other people. Okay, maybe Princess did deserve it. I was thinking that he meant that everyone deserved kindness, but I guess not. Which is true. Your bullies don't deserve kindness. You should just report them. Oh my god, it won't work after you start working. when Yeah, you have to deal with bullies on your own. My eyes linger on Mother's grave. What seems to read my thoughts from my silence? I think your mother would have been proud of you too. But Mother thought I was a traitor in the end. Sometimes my nightmares, I can still hear her screaming. That same scream that echoed in the throne room when I betrayed her trust and shot her with electricity 2 years ago. The Hilder was corrupted by the Tenebrarium, but Lady Parfait said she was a kind person before the corruption. I'm sure there was still some of that person left in your mother when she died. A chasm opens up inside of me when I realize I never truly knew that version of my mother. The mother I know was cold and manipulative. She erased my memories and used children to do her bidding. My eyes wandered to Waltz. I'm sorry, Waltz. For what? For the way my mother must have treated you. I remember when the king told me Waltz found out belatedly that my mother killed his parents. She stole everything from him. I've told you before, Lucette, none of that was your fault. Without you, I probably would have become corrupted by the darkness of the Time Baron too. You're my guiding light back then, and you still are, little star. He crosses his arms as he looks at the gravestones. There is a thoughtful, forlorn look in his eyes. Do you mind if we make a detour back to on our way back to the palace? A detour to the merchant? Waltz shakes his head. No, it's here in the forest. He brushes past me and makes his way over to our rose bush. He plucks off the flowers, then turns to me. It won't take long, I promise. I nod, more curious than anything. Waltz smiles. Thank you, Lucette. He snaps his fingers. A bright light encompasses the area, and moments later, a portal appears before us. Waltz and I walk into it hand in hand. Oh, it's just the forest, but inverted. Yes. My vision briefly goes white, then it clears. I see I am in a different part of the forest. The pace is quieter, even further away from the hustle and bustle of the town. I do not recognize it at all. This place is still the same. Where is this place? Waltz pulls me forward into the clearing. It is empty, save for two big rocks lying incongruously on the clear ground. His grip tightens on my hand. He suddenly looks tense. Waltz? This is where my home used to be. I glance around the area. I notice scorch marks on the tree. Your home? You mean... This is where I used to live with my parents. Waltz's face is filled with melancholy. This is the first time I've come back to this place in years. This area of the forest is unnaturally quiet. It feels as if the trees themselves are mourning, like grief has drenched this place in a permanent stifling melancholy. I have asked Waltz many times about his childhood. Always he tells me his memories of his past are hazy. I never push him to recall anything on my behalf. I know what it is like to be weighed down by traumatic memories. But seeing the sadness on Waltz's face now, I wonder how much he has been keeping from me, not because he doesn't remember, but because he does not want to remember. I'm sorry, Lucette. I'm afraid I haven't been entirely honest with you. I said before I didn't remember a lot of my life before Hilda, but that was a lie. You don't need to apologize to me, Waltz. I know some memories are better left buried. That is how I felt too. That's how I feel. He breathes out softly. I always told myself I would bring you here after we got married so that I could introduce you to my parents. He shakes his head. But you let me accompany you when you visit your family, so I want you to meet mine. Waltz walks me over to the rocks. His parents grieves, now I realize. My parents told me they built the house all the way out here because they wanted to avoid humans. It was the safest place to be during the war. My parents were pacifists. To avoid detection, they barely used the magic, which meant they barely taught me how to use magic as I was growing up. But everyone said you were a child prodigy. Waltz nods. I studied on my own, when they weren't watching. He shuffles on his feet, looking suddenly abashed. I stuck out into town and participated in secret tournaments even. There were tournaments happening during the war? Waltz sighs. Most of them were harmless, a means for witches to practice their magic without humans finding out. But some of these tournaments were Not so harmless. I can only imagine some witches using those tournaments to hone their skills for more nefarious purposes. But then, I am certain there were knights who were training to do the same. I only went to the tournaments to practice, but I ended up drawing the attention of some very dangerous witches. My mother. Waltz nods. Hilda was never a part of the tournaments herself, but she recruited her best witches there. I knew none of that. I was just a kid. Waltz crosses his arms. He shudders even though the air is still and there is no breeze. My parents eventually found out about my excursions and forbid me from going out. I didn't know at the time, but Hilda had approached them when I wasn't home. She said I had potential and that she wanted me as her apprentice. I looked around, the quiet clearing, heart sinking. I feel I already know how the story ends, and it makes me feel hollow. I was stubborn. The day my parents died, Waltz is looking at the gravestones, expression deadpan. I'd snuck out to participate in another tournament when the news spread of a house burning in the forest. Waltz squeezes his eyes shut. His breathing hitches. By the time I got back, everything was already burnt down to ashes. Waltz. Hilda approached me the same day. She told me the fire had started by a witch hating humans. When I had nowhere else to go, she offered me a place to stay. A home. She applauded my strength. She made me feel valued. Waltz speaks haltingly, as if it taking a great deal of effort to say the words aloud. I wrapped an arm around his shoulder and let him lean on into me. I know his pain. When I was a child, I felt the same pain. She introduced me to another one of apologies, Myth. The two of us, we blindly followed her every order. Even when his voice trailed, but I do not push. I leaned my head against Walt's shoulder. He sags against me. I didn't know Hilda was the one who killed my parents until after she erased your memories. How did you find out? You are my light, Lucette. When I lost you, I felt like I'd fallen into darkness. I was so desperate I went to the king. I wanted to see if there was anything he could do to help you. Instead, he told me about my parents. The king may not have any power over his kingdom then, but he still had his spies. And through one of these spies, he overheard that story. That was when I finally broke, when I tried to make things right. Hilda took everything from me. My parents, you, everything. So I turned my back on her. I betrayed her. Silence settles over the forest again. I rub swimming circles into Waltz's back as he often does with me. When he speaks, his voice is soft, fragile. Hilda may have been the one to burn down the house, but I was the one who led her to them. If I had just listened, if I hadn't participated in any of those tournaments, they'd probably still be alive. As always, I don't like apologizing. Princess, it's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong, it was your mother. It was kind of Waltz's fault, I would say. So, I mean, I don't think any kid should find out that their actions have consequences. Because they're still kids. But still, actions have consequences, and like, no one is to blame except for Hilda and Waltz himself. So, comfort him. I don't think you should apologize, because he'll just say, no, you did nothing wrong, and feel bad about it. I think he'd feel bad about it. I mean, can you imagine you tell someone something that one of their family members did to them, and you apologize, and What good would that do? You're not the one doing. You're not the one tormenting me. Just feel bad because this innocent person is apologizing to you as if they did something wrong when they clearly didn't. I wrap my arms around Waltz's waist and rest my head against his chest. Waltz, you were a child. But if I just listened, you can't think that way. You are not the one who set fire to the house. That was Mother's doing. You always tell me not to apologize for the things my mother did, and now I am telling you not to blame yourself for her actions. There is no point regretting a past we cannot change, and all we can do is focus on creating a brighter future. And Waltz, you have done so much for this kingdom. You always tell me my parents would be proud of me. I'm sure your parents would be proud of you too. I feel some of the tension seep out of Waltz's body as he returns my embrace. Thank you, Lucette. Magic must never be used to harm others, only to protect them. That was what my parents used to say. I remembered that when I met you. Remembered? You're right, there was no point in thinking about the past now. You are my life now, Lucette. And I brought you here to see my parents. Thank you for listening to me. I've carried this story with me for many years. It's good to finally be able to share it. Walt steps away and leads me to the two big rocks. We each place a rose on them. Father, Mother, this is my fiancée, Queen Lucette Viella Britton of Angeli. She is also the bearer of the Castellan Plenum Baron. Very soon, when we're both ready, we're going to get married. I smile down at the gravestones. I do not know what Waltz's parents looked like, or even what they were like in demeanor. But the way Walt speaks of them, it is with regret. He misses them, and I can tell he loved them. I bow my head. It is nice to meet you both. I speak to them as I speak with my own parents. I'll tell them about how much I love Waltz and how much he has done for this kingdom. I am the luckiest woman in the world to have him by my side. Waltz is beaming beside me. Thank you, Lucette. And I am the luckiest man in the world to be able to stand by your side. He gently squeezes my hand. It will be dark soon. Indeed, maybe you should head back. Waltz looks thoughtful. Actually, if you don't mind, I have something I want to show you. Something else? Waltz laughs. I know I'm just dragging you all over the place, but this will be worth it. I promise. Waltz and I walk through the forest until we reach a hill at the outskirts. Here we have a clear view of the night sky and the scintillating stars strewn across its expanse. Waltz, what are we doing here? Stargazing. When I just blink at him, Waltz laughs and tucks me gently down to the ground. I sit beside him, shivering slightly as a cool breeze rustles my clothing. It is a chilly night, but this breeze is actually refreshing. When was the last time you saw a shooting star? I don't remember. I do. It was a long time ago, not long after I met you. Oh? I just snuck out of your room and back to mine. He smiles softly. I'd had such a fun time. So much fun, in fact, that when I saw a shooting star outside my window, I wished that fun would never end. I wished in that moment I could keep having fun with you forever. Your wish came true. Watts laughs. It did. Your happiness was always my primary concern, but it means the world that I could be the one to share that happiness with you. There is no one else I'd rather share it with. I gasp when something bright streaks against the sky. One of the shooting stars we had just talked about. I do not remember if I have ever seen a shooting star, but I know what comes next. I clasp my hand together, close my eyes, and make a wish. I wish to be the queen my kingdom needs, and to be a bearer worthy of the Tenenbaum. And I wish to make Waltz just as happy as he made me. Walt speaks in a whisper. Lucette, open your eyes. I open my eyes to a sight so stunning it takes my breath away. The sky is filled with shooting stars. It's like magic. You're the Tenenbaum bear. I'm sure you could perform this kind of magic if you wanted to. I do not ever think I could capture this kind of natural beauty. Walt looks at me, smiling gently. They're beautiful, but not as beautiful as you, little star. The words make my heart hitch. Sometimes I think I do not deserve you, Waltz. That has never been true. I'm the unworthy one, you said. I disagree. You have always been more than worthy, Waltz. Thank you, Waltz, for everything. I'm so happy we were able to spend this much time together today. Me too. Waltz looks quiet, thoughtful as he gazes up at the night sky. Someday, when everything is more stable, I hope we can spend even more time together. And that we can share that time with others. Others? Waltz's eyes are sparkling just as brightly as the stars when he looks at me again. May I ask you a question? Of course. Is it about children? I want children. Children, maybe. Did I say I didn't want children? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. How many children do you want? The question marks make my cheeks burn. Children? Oh my god. She can say none. I don't want. Can you imagine Waltz, who loves children, says, and she says she wants none. Oh my god. Of course I Nani? I won't be so bad as to say none. Sometimes I say none just to like make people know that I'm just not social or not ready to have children. But to be honest, I never had a preference. It's not like I didn't want children. It's just that the person I'm talking to, I feel like I'm not ready to open up to them about wanting children. This is your partner in crime. You should be honest and also I actually don't know what the princess's preferences are. This will probably decide what her preferences are. I hope she's not lying when she says I have no preference. No? Any child we have would be a blessing. Now it is Waltz who blushes. The rosiness of his cheeks make me laugh. How many would you want? You're right. Any child would be a blessing, but you want many children. How did you know? It is not hard to guess. You are always so good with them, Waltz. Children adore you. I only hope I would be a good mother as you are a father. There is no doubt in my mind. The children love you too, you know. But my mother... You aren't your mother, Lucette. You're full of love and light, little star. And you would be an amazing mother. Is there a reason you asked me this question in the first place? Well, you were talking about the future earlier. That is the far future. Who knows? You might get children in the first year of your marriage. Who knows? Oh wait. We don't know when they're getting married. So maybe it is the far future. You should make him wait for 10 years. Waltz laughs. Wherever and whenever this future is, I'm looking forward to it. I sigh, but I am smiling. Me too, Waltz. I lean my head against his shoulder. He interlaces his finger through mine and kisses my head. For a while, the two of us sit there watching the stars. We do not think about the crushing weight of the present, but instead turn our gazes towards the dream of a brighter future. Skeletons in the closet? Ew. It's Halloween! So... I... So we visited the graves, and then we learned about Waltz's past, and we also learned that he wants a lot of children. Like 20. 20? Is that possible? Let's see. Let's pretend you don't have any breaks between having children. Okay, 9 months times 20. 18 months divided by 12. No, 12. 15. So 15 years. 15 plus 8. 20. 35. It's possible. Possible, yes. Do you want 20? You get 20. What am I thinking about this, princess? Okay, that's if 1, you get married right away at 20, which might be happening because that's what happened for Claude. Y'all got married during when we were playing this route. So maybe there's a chance. And second condition, no breaks. It's gonna be awful. It's gonna be awful. Huh. Anyway, like if you like, dislike if you dislike. Subscribe for more episodes and content like this. I do a lot of visual novels, so if you like that, then please subscribe. And do comment down below what you think of this episode. And if you want to see me play any other games, please feel free to comment down below. We're finishing up Princess Phenomenon Evermore, so I guess if you suggest some games now, it'd be more, you have more chances of me playing it since I'm ending a few series already. Anyway, I think that's all. Thank you for watching and have a good day.